Mifepristone, the abortion drug, the drug that will produce an abortion, typically combined with a second drug that also starts with an M, but I can't recall the actual name of it. But you know, usually it's a two-drug combination, but Mifepristone is the main part of it. This is the drug that Matthew Kacsmaryk, the right-wing religious fundamentalist nut, who Republicans work so hard to get, and the Federalist Society as well, to get on the bench as a federal district court down in Texas, in Amarillo. And then they brought this Mifepristone lawsuit to him specifically. They filed it in Amarillo so that he would be the only judge who would see it, knowing that he wanted to ban abortion nationwide. And so what he did is he said, this drug cannot be allowed in the United States. And he literally banned it nationwide. That ban was immediately stayed by the Fifth Circuit, which is very conservative. But the Fifth Circuit said, okay, let us look at this first. And then also by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Everything's going to stay the same until we've had a chance to look at this. Well, the Fifth Circuit ruled on this day before yesterday. Or yesterday, excuse me, yesterday afternoon. It was a three-judge panel. One of the judges actually wrote a dissent saying that he wanted to ban Mifepristone nationwide, period, right now. Right. But the other two judges said, no, we're going to, this is the, by the way, this is the appeals court that covers Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, Fifth Circuit. And it was a 2-to-1 ruling. They tossed out Kacsmaryk's order and replaced it with restrictions. What they're saying is that Mifepristone cannot be sent through the mail and must be prescribed by a medical doctor, and the prescription must be filled in person at a pharmacy. And the pharmacist, by the way, can refuse to fill the prescription. Now, what this would do is dramatically change the dynamic right now in the United States. You've got states, you've got women in states that have outlawed abortion, which is about half our states now, the Republican-controlled states. I think pretty much every single one of the red states has outlawed abortion to greater or lesser degrees. Women in those states, however, even though it's against the law, are still able to get Mifepristone through the mail. And in the early stages of pregnancy, in those states that only have 6-week bans or 10-week bans or 12-week bans, you know, they can get Mifepristone before that. What this would do is make it almost impossible to get it through the mail in those states that have outlawed abortion. So it would cut off access to the safest and most convenient and least dangerous form of abortion for women in about half of the states in America. Now, it has not gone into effect yet because the Supreme Court says, wait a minute, we want to look at this. But God only knows what's going to happen on the Supreme Court, because you've got 8 Catholics on the court. And on the conservative side, you've got 6 Catholics. I realize Neil Gorsuch no longer attends a Catholic church. He goes to the Church of England with his wife, but his wife's church, but he was raised Catholic. And, you know, Catholic doctrine is that Mifepristone is evil, along with birth control and condoms and everything else, but that it's murder. So how's this going to play out before the Supreme Court? Nobody knows. But for the moment, it's still around. Mifepristone is still around, but I'm not holding my breath. The Judge Elrod is a George Bush appointee, and Judge Corey Wilson is a Trump appointee. They are the two who said, we're going to do it this way, you know, with restrictions rather than a total ban. Judge James Ho dissented and said that he would have affirmed Kacsmaryk's order in full, including halting Mifepristone altogether in the United States.